What's up, Pokemon players? Pokemonger back with another online deck profile for you, and today I'm going to show you guys my Legacy Garchomp deck because there is a Legacy challenge going on right now, and this is very competitive in that format. I compete with all the best decks in that format with this deck. Very fun to play with, so let's talk about it. Garchomp, Stage 2 Pokemon, Mach Cut for 1 fighting energy, and then you get a discard of special energy attached to the defending Pokemon. If you attach Silver Bangle to that, Silver Bangle allows you to do 30 more damage to Pokemon EX. And then if you have 1 or 2 of these Fight Song Altarias in play, your Dragon Pokemon do an extra 20 damage for each of these Altaria in play. That 60 damage actually goes up quite a bit, so you pretty much 2-shot everything with Mach Cut, and you can set up Dragon Blade to 1-shot things once in a while. But it does cost a fighting in the water, and you do have to discard the top 2 cards of your deck. But very, very good. Stage 2, but it is very easy to get into play because of this nifty little ability on the Stage 1 Gabite. All you gotta do is get 1 Gabite into play, and then from there you can Dragon Call, search out a Pokemon once per turn from your deck, and you can use that multiple times per turn depending on how many of these Gabites you have in play. So you just get a bunch of Gabites and just start drawing out all of your Garchomp line very quickly. You'll see how quick it is to get this whole line of Garchomp out and into play, and since it only does take 1 fighting energy, it is very easy to set up and start attacking with and compete with the top decks in Legacy. So a 3-3 Swablu Altaria line for the increased damage from Fight Song. A 4-4-3 Garchomp line, 1 Mr. Mime because Landorus Garbodor is probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest deck in Legacy, so we do have Mr. Mime to help protect against Lando Garb a little bit, and TDK snipes as well, so pretty good. 1 computer search as the ace spec, search any card from your deck, so very good. 4 Junk Arms, discard 2 cards from your hand and get an item card back from your discard pile. That's pretty good. It's like a what do you call it? It's like a dowsing machine, except you cannot get supporters or stadiums with it. It is just item cards with this, but very, very nice. So we do play 4 of those. 4 level balls to help get out our Gabites. We need our Gibbles. We need Gibbles in place soon. That way on turn 2 we can start using Dragon Call to bring out all of the rest of our lines of Garchomp. So very, very important to have a consistent start with your basics. So we do play 4 level ball. 2 catchers to basically Lysander up or Guzma up your opponent's Pokemon that you want to kill. 1 rare candy to go straight from Gibble into Garchomp. That can come in handy once in, pretty often. I would say maybe once a match or once every couple matches you end up using that play. 2 super odds to shuffle back in your lines of Pokemon and whatever energy you need, typically going to be fighting energy. 1 switch to get something into the active that you want. 2 tool scrappers to discard tool cards from your opponent. I do have 2 of them in here for that Landorus Garbodor matchup. We don't want that Garbodor shutting down our Dragon Call ability or Fight Song ability, so I have 2 of them in here, and then these Junk Arms basically allow us to get more back if we need to use more than just 2 per game. But this is really, I find the 2 tool scrappers is really helping me sort of have a winning record against the Landorus Garbodor. I do have 2 Tropical Beach. This helps us set up early on in the game. Since we typically are just trying to set up early on and we're not really attacking, we can just end the turn with this stadium by drawing until we have 7 cards. So very good for this deck. It is very expensive though, so if you don't have these or you can't afford them, I would just suggest dropping those 2 for... you can use the Sky Arrow Bridge Stadium, which gives all your Pokemon a free retreat, or you could just increase your Juniper count by 1 and maybe add in like a random receiver. We do have 10 draw supporters, so very good. You're going to want to draw a supporter almost every turn, so 10 ends up being very good. We have 1 Skyla to get whatever item card we need. sometimes you can get a rare candy with that, or just the tool that you need to shut off Garbotoxin ability lock. And then we have 4 blend energy. This counts as fighting or water, so pretty good. Depending on, you know, that counts as either one, so we're gonna want 4 of those. We're gonna use fighting energy more than we use water energy, so we do have 4 fighting energy and only 2 water energy, and 10 energy total. That's pretty good. That's going to allow us to manually attach every turn, which is pretty important. And yeah, this is just, I've had a lot of success with this list. Very consistent, very powerful. And I guess that's it. So if you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, enjoy the matches. Alright, let's get into a match. So I start with Swablu. And oh boy, this is not a good starting hand. Yep, I'm gonna have to, okay, so I Juniper that entire starting hand, which is unfortunate, but I do find a level ball for Gibble, and I do find my Tropical Beach Stadium, which allows me to end the turn by drawing with more cards. My opponent has a Voltorb in the active, and we saw a some evolutions. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is the deck that you just sort of get the goal is to get a bunch of Pokemon in the discard, and that way you hit really hard with Flareon. So I get to bench the new Swablu, evolve into Gabite and Altaria, thin out my hand, and then draw 6 new cards with Professor Oak. And then I do go ahead and attach the fighting energy to that Gabite. So I didn't spread out my energy there. It might have been wise to spread my energy out a little bit, but I decided to end the turn again by using Tropical Beach. My opponent level balls for Electrode. That allows you to, so he can knock it out and then look at the top 7 cards of his deck and attach as many energy he finds there to his Pokemon. So it does contribute to the damage he's going to do with Flareon, and it allows him to get his energy into play. So he's going to Ultra Ball a couple more Pokemon into the discard and evolve into Flareon. So very good. Looks like I have pretty much everything I need now to go ahead, and he is going to get a knockout on this active Altaria since it only has 70 hit points. But it looks like I have everything I need to basically get a return counter KO. He starts charging up his benched Eevee as well. Hits me for 110. It's pretty good. It's a pretty sweet deck, honestly. I get to bench another Gibble, evolve Altaria with my Gabite. I grab another Gabite, and then with my new Gabite, I can grab a Garchomp for my active. Go ahead and swing with Dragon Slash, I think it's called, my second attack. I do Oak for a new hand, get another manual attachment down to a benched threat, and I pull that out prior to my next turn starting. So I do have 2 Altaria in play, so I was able to Mach Cut for 100 damage. That way I don't have to discard any cards from my deck. He goes ahead and evolves into Flareon. He does have plenty of Pokemon in his discard now. He will be able to return a KO. Goes ahead and uses his Propagate Executes to Ultra Ball for Jirachi EX to find a supporter. Plays Jirachi down, and he's out of supporters. He discarded all of his supporters, so I'm so well set up at this point. I don't think he's going to be able to stream 1 prize attackers as well as I will, so that was a pretty good match. Yeah, from there I think he's just going to struggle to keep up with me, so very good. Let's get into another one. Okay, this time looks like I mulligan, so that's unfortunate. Okay, just waiting for my opponent. Okay, I do get a Gibble down. My opponent will get one more card. This is a good hand if I... Oh, wow, okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I do get a level ball there for a backup. I kinda would like to manually attach this turn an energy. Looks like I decide to pass though because I don't want to get rid of my Super Rod and 2 Pokemon. I think it would have been okay if I Junipered there because I do have the 4 Junk Arms to get back Super Rod to get back those Pokemon, but I decided to pass that time. My opponent is playing Virizion Genesect, also a very good deck in Legacy. Gonna computer search. A couple cards away for... Oh, you don't have to reveal, so I don't know. Probably that Keldeo, he attaches Floatstone to Keldeo and gets me. Gets rid of the items that I don't want to discard with Juniper, so that actually helped me more than anything. He attaches Plasma Energy to the active Virizion. I go ahead and evolve my Gabite, or my Gibble into Gabite, use the Dragon Call to get a Gabite, and then use the other Dragon Call to get another Gibble into play. So this is how you can really accelerate your Garchomp lines into play. Works pretty nice. I gotta be careful of that active Gabite getting knocked out, so I do go ahead and manually attach to my benched Gabite for safety. And if I do get the active one evolved into Garchomp, it does just take 1 energy, so this is fine. My opponent oaks into a new hand, manually attaches Grass Energy to Genesect EX, and uses Plasma or something that allows him to attach Plasma to Plasma Energy to one of his Plasma Pokemon. So that's how he can accelerate energy. But he was not able to attack, so I go ahead and use Dragon Call to start my turn. Searching through, seeing what I have. Looks like I am going to grab out a Garchomp with that. And I do have Switch in hand, so I use my second Dragon Call to get out another Gibble to prepare for the late game. Yeah, and I do have Switch, so I switch into my Garchomp or my Gabite with the energy, evolving the Garchomp, discard his tool from his Keldeo, and grab a new hand with Colress. I'm able to put Altaria into play and level ball for one more line of Altaria, or a Swablu for a future Altaria, I should say. I do have a manual attach option. I will not quite hit the 1-hit KO with Dragon Blade, so I go ahead and Mach Cut, get rid of his Plasma Energy, since that does allow me to discard Special Energy. I pretty much just played that Stadium because I don't need it at this point. I don't want to redraw into it. But he does replace it right away. I suppose I could have held on to it one more turn there. And he does have a free retreat now with that Stadium. That's the Stadium I was talking about. If you don't have Tropical Beach, you can just use that Stadium because it gives you 1 less energy retreat cost. So he does have free retreat, and he's able to get his Genesect into the active to hit me for 100 and one of my benched for 20. That's another matchup where you can use Mr. Mime to avoid getting sniped for damage. Use my Dragon Call to get my last Altaria into play, and now I do have enough to hit 170, so I do get a 1-hit KO on his only built-up threat at the moment. And I am just ready to attack with a ton of lines of Garchomp from here on out, so it's going to be very hard for my opponent to catch up to me. He has 111 hit points left after that item card that he just used to heal himself. I am hitting for 110, actually 130 with Mach Cut at the moment. So he will die here. He does get rid of one of my energies, and he misses that item again, so even if he did hit that for a full heal, I could have just used Dragon Blade for a one-shot anyways, but now I am still going to be able to Mach Cut for a one-hit KO. He rushes in and free retreats into a 1-prize Pokemon, hoping to stall, I suppose. I do top deck my Pokemon Catcher to bring up the damaged Virizion with an energy on it. I was going to Skylift for that, but I top decked it, so very good. And then he knows from there there's just no coming back, so I definitely outpowered my opponent in that game. Pretty good showcase of that. Let's go ahead and get into one more match now. Alright, last match here. This is the only Landorus Garbodor player I found today, so decided to include this one just because it is a Lando Garb. Most people consider it the best deck in the format. I do get a start with 2 Gibbles right away, which is good. And I get to go first, okay. Got a level ball for another Gibble. So 3 in play total. Probably going to sit on this hand. I probably don't want to Juniper those 2 Gibites. My opponent has a very blinged out deck. Max rarity deck, so pretty cool. And he does get to start with the Hammerhead attack right away. I think that's what the attack is called. I get to evolve into 2 Gibites. I may have wanted to grab a Mr. Mime with that level ball. That might have been a good idea. But I do like to set up a bunch of I was able to junk arm for level ball, so I did go ahead and get a Mr. Mime in play. And a Juniper, find a energy. I don't play the energy because I'm afraid of his enhanced hammer, or I think most people play, there's another one that gets rid of special energy that's a little bit better than enhanced hammer. So I go ahead and evolve into Garchomp, use my Dragon Call to get out Altaria. And at that point he just concedes. He figures he has to take 6 prizes on me. I'm locked against bench damage with my Mr. Mime, and I was just too well set up at that point. He goes ahead and concedes. So that's those are the matches I recorded today with Legacy Garchomp. Let me know what you think in the comments, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.